Good evening, ladies. Welcome to the Ballpark at Rosemont for tonight's game between the visiting Akron Racers and the Chicago Bandits, who are 5-0, coming in to the last game of this three-game series between the Racers and the Bandits, these longtime rivals in the NPF. Alongside that, you've heard from the whole season. I am Johnny Sole, and we welcome you here to the. And if you look at the season so far, Eric, the Bandits 5-0. They've won in different ways, come back. They've had games where they pulled away early, but overall, the main theme is that they've been winning ball games.
You're exactly right, Johnny. The key has been they've been not afraid to come back. They've capitalized on Akron Racers' mistakes. I was talking to Coach Brian Levan before the game. He said his defense hasn't. We saw it yesterday also when Kelly Montavolo threw the ball all the way into the outfield, which eventually caused the Bandits to take the lead for good at that point.
The Bandits 5-0. They won last night with their fifth straight win to start the season by the final score of 3-1. And Eric, in that game, there was some great pitching from Lacey Waldrop. And also some good defense, timely hitting as the Bandits were able to pull out that game 3-1 last night. And it was good to see Waldrop in the circle, as well as the team overall be able to step up behind her.
Lacey Waldrop did an excellent job last night. She had to change her pitches, pull the string and throw it like at 50 miles an hour. She also used the fastball and also blew it right past the hitter. She had 9 strikeouts last night and was able to come away with the complete game victory. The only blemish was, Johnny, was she gave up a home run to Kylie Quico early in the game, which gave the Akron Racers the lead briefly, but she eventually settled down, and that turned out to be the only hit she gave up all night.
Got out of a jam, and the Bandits behind her were able to step up as well with some timely offense. And overall, when you look at what they've been able to do so far in this season, whether it's sometimes the long ball, we've seen a couple home runs from Edwards, and also overall we've been able throughout the course of the season to get the speed about this year. Besides the power, they get a lot of speed in this lineup, and certainly when you look at players company that are able to step up as well throughout the course of the season, the speed is very important.
Well, we saw it last night, Johnny. As Amber Patton also scrambled home, we're going to go to the replay here. And just like that, on a bunt attempt, which was placed perfectly, it almost hit Megan Blank as it hit on the ground. And also, Amber Patton just went soaring, and she was able to get home and around the tag of Griffin Joyner, who was in perfect position to make the tag. Just perfect sliding, though, by the speedster Amber Patton.
And the Bandits overall, between Patton and also the pitching, as we talked about overall, as they're about to get introduced here to start the game on academic night. Chicago Bandits here recognizing local teachers and faculty and staff. They also honored the transnational scholar athlete tonight. The scholar athlete was Vanessa Villasenor from Marist High School, a local high school in Chicago. She received a $1,000 scholarship courtesy of Transnational. It was being represented tonight by the transnational representative, Kristen Spiewak. Vanessa has a 5.62 GPA. That is a lot smarter than me, Eric. And she recently bought gifts to pediatric patrons being treated at Hope Children's Hospital and tutors her fellow on the Marist softball team in her free time. So congratulations to Vanessa Villasenor on academic night and honoring the scholar athlete tonight. It's a great cause. The Bandits promoting faculty and also that scholar athlete award.
Yes, indeed. She's actually smarter than me also. Got a way higher GPA. That's almost 2 points higher than my high school.
5.62, that'll work. The Bandits trying to get their average runs this year to about 5.62. The way they've been scoring this year, they might point throughout the course of the season so far. The Chicago Bandits have been able on this year to score 28 in the 5 games, so they have averaged over 5 runs a game on the season. We're about ready to have the national anthem. The DuPage Honor Guard is presenting the colors. The national anthem tonight is being performed by Chris Skiles. And we'll take a quick break here and get ready to honor America on a beautiful Saturday night at the Ballpark at Rosemont. Here is the anthem by Chris Skiles.
And please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem sponsored. send bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, they proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, Saint us as stars sang banner yet wave, o'er the land of the free, and the home of the
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please direct your attention to the pitcher's circle. It's time for tonight's first pitch of the game. Tonight's left turner ALS Foundation first pitch is brought to you by Chicago Bandits and will be brought by Morgan Kravitz in memory of her grandmother.
Back here at the ballpark at Rosemont, a great job done by Chris Skiles of the choir as he was able to perform the national anthem. Did it beautiful and does a tremendous job.
Couldn't have sung it better myself, Johnny.
Bandits and the Racers, Chicago Bandits taking the field, and it is time now for the Akron Racers lineup presented by Boomba. The lineup presented here by the Racers, and they're leading off number 17 left fielder Jill Barrett. Batting second and playing right field is number 25 Jen Gilbert. Batting third the shortstop number 15 Narissa Myers. Batting fourth the first base 3 Kaylee Quico. Batting fifth designated player number 18 Jessica Garcia. Batting sixth and catching is number 55 Haley Uten. Batting seventh and playing center field is number 2 Taylor Schlopey. Batting eighth and playing third base is number 10 Kelly Montalvo. Batting ninth and playing second base is number 1 Ashley Thomas. And pitching in the circle we'll see in the bottom of the first is number 44 Laura Winter. That is the lineup for the Akron Racers presented by Boomba. On the defensive rotation for the Chicago Bandits presented by Wilson. And the defense for the Bandits in left field is Brenna Moss. In center field, Emily Allard. And in right field, Natalie Hernandez. We're on the horn on the infield at third base, Amber Patton. At short, Williams, the familiar left infield. At second base, Danielle Zimkowitz. And at first base, Megan Blank. And a battery of catching in her first career start, Vicky Galasso. And it is Taylor Edwards. And first look at this battery, Galasso.
Well, Tatum Edwards comes into the game 2-0 because she appeared in the games against the Rebellion on the road and also against the Akron Racers in the first game of the series when the Bandits had to mount a massive comeback. She was able to hold down the fort in that game, and the Bandits managed to get a win.
Jill Barrett standing in for the Racers. Barrett on the year, 385, 5 out of 13 on the season. In the Racers' 4 games, Akron is 1-3 on the year against the Bandits. Here, the Chicago Bandits at 5-0. Barrett 5 out of 13, does not have an RBI, but does have speed, does have 1 stolen base. Up to left field, coming in Brenna Moss, and she makes the catch in shallow left field, and that is number 1 here in the first inning.
Good start for Tatum Edwards, able to get Jill Barrett out, because if you get the leadoff on base, anything can happen, and she was able to turn out to Brenna Moss, and Brenna Moss settled right under it to get the first out.
Ball shallow to left, and Moss came in, and there's 1 out here as Jen Gilbert stands in, and Gilbert swings and misses, and the count is no balls and 1 strike here on Gilbert. So far on the year, Gilbert 417. She's 5 out of 12. The Racers have some players at the top of the lineup that have been swinging the bat. Talked about, you said with their coaching staff, Eric, about the defense. But they do have some hitters that have certainly been able to produce so far in the season.
We saw that in the first game when they jumped all over the Bandits and were able to get most of the game.
Gilbert has a bouncer right to Megan Blank, and she makes the play at first. It was Verdon at first base. And now Megan Blank out there, the rookie from the University of Iowa, made that play on 2 bounces for out number 2.
Great play by Megan Blank. She's filling some big shoes with the absence of Brittany Cervantes. She also came in relief last night for Kirsten Verdon at first base.
So far, so Tatum Edwards, 2 outs, nobody on for Narissa Myers, the former Chicago Bandit. Came over in the trade last year. The Bandits trading Narissa Myers to Akron for Kaylin Castillo, who was no longer on the Bandits, the catching rotation for Chicago. So here we'll also take a look at Tatum's sister Taylor behind the plate, different points. Taylor's the DP tonight. 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Bandits were wondering who their new group of catchers will be. Obviously, Grimm retired, Kristen Butler retired, so they had to regroup there at the catching position. Meanwhile, it is down low, 3 balls and a strike on Myers.
Recently, Kaylin Castillo was actually released, Johnny, by the Dallas Charge. But the Bandits all tooled and refaced their catching position behind the dish.
And our first look here at Vicky, and the 3-1 pitch swing, missed 3-2. Myers was tremendous last year, and this year she is starting off a little slow, but 1 for 6. Still getting into that rhythm, and there's ball 4, so the walk by Tatum Edwards, and it puts Narissa Myers at first base. Narissa, as we said, is 1 for 6 on the season, but now has drawn a couple walks on the year. She does have 2 RBIs, and she does have a home run, so she's always dangerous, is Narissa. That only hit has been a homer.
Yep, it hit the top of the scoreboard, actually.
And the pitch is in there for a strike to Kaylee Quico. Quico, the first baseman.
Kaylee Quico is actually causing a lot of trouble in this series, having 2 home runs and 3 RBI against the Bandits.
3 RBI, she's 2 for 6. Myers is going to go back to first. Now she's in a rundown. Blank to to Zimkowitz, and they finally get the tag on. So they threw it down to the base. Myers went back, originally trying to steal the rundown, and Blank gave it to Danielle, and Z was able to chase down her former teammate and tag her out on the heel for out number 3. So the caught stealing goes 2 to 4 to 3 to 4, and that will end the inning here. This first inning of the Chicago Bandits versus Akron Racers game is being presented tonight by Transnational, the most trusted name in bank card, and also 2015 sponsor, the Scholar Athlete of the Year Award. For more information, visit ChicagoBandits.com. At the end of the Racers, nothing, the Bandits. Coming up, you're watching National Pro Fast Pitch action here on YouTube at Chicago Bandits. Back here as we go to the bottom half of the first inning, the Racers nothing. The Bandits coming up to the plate, and the Chicago Bandit lineup tonight presented by Boombo. We'll start with Brenna Moss at left field. Center, Tammy Williams, the shortstop, bats third. Middle of the order, Megan Blank, Amber Patton, and Natalie Hernandez, and then Galasso and Zimkowitz for the Bandits. Brenna Moss leading things off for Chicago in the left fielder. And it's a strike to the draft pick from Fresno State. Brenna Moss had a very good start to the season, Eric.
Yes, she has. Her bat has been almost like a torch in her hand. She's almost like the Human Torch out there.
Torches that one, but to the shortstop Myers, who's right there to make the play for out number 1. It'll bring up Emily Allard at the plate, and Moss and Allard, two similar players. Both can slap, both can hit the ball in the outfield when needed, but obviously their games are hit the ball on the ground and use their speed. They're both lengthy at the top of the lineup. There's Allard, get past the pitcher and to throw, and they got her by a half a step. Play made there at base by Ashley Thomas, and she just out Emily Allard. Not easy to do that, and that was a very close play at first base. Allard has that long stride. She has speed, and Coach Mike Sturwell just out to make sure that that was indeed an out, but that was certainly a very close play at first base, but they just did get her.
Well, Emily Allard definitely wasn't happy with that call. She had thought that her foot made it to the bag first. The play was kind of simultaneous, and it was just a little too quick. Also, Laura Winter, she unfortunately was at the losing end of the game when the Bandits came back and won in 8 innings, 6-5. On the Megan Blank line out, which Tammy Williams made that instinctive read to get home and with the winning run.
Tammy Williams standing in, the shortstop. The pitch misses on the outside, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 on Williams, and the pitch is a strike, and it is 2-1.
Tammy Williams also has an RBI in the series.
Pitch to Williams, and that's a bell-time strike, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Number 2 with 2 outs. And meanwhile, the Chicago Blackhawks game is 2-2 and period number 2. So deuces are wild out here. Eric, there's a pop-up. Center field off. Got in on Tammy, and the catch is made out there in center field by Taylor Slopey. We'll get you the rest of the Akron Racer defense later on in this next half inning. No score as we go into the top of the for tug of war here at the ballpark at Rosemont. Time for us to take a quick break. You're watching the NPF action on ChicagoBandits.com and YouTube.
All right, are you guys ready? Here we go, ready, set, go!
Back here as we go to the top half of the second inning, and Kaylee Quico is in the batter's box when the caught stealing occurred in the top half of the first inning, with Narissa Myers getting caught on a bullet of a throw from the last one. We talked about it in between innings. Vicky's first chance at throwing out a base runner, and it worked out pretty well for her. So Quico back on, and there, the pitch inside, and the count is 2-1. And on the Racer power hitter, Kaylee Quico. The Racers 1-3 on the season. They split 2 with the Rebellion in Pennsylvania. And now that pitch is fisted past the first base side, and it counts 2-1. The Racers played those games against the Rebellion in the same day that the Bandits did. It was a double header between of a quirky schedule, but kind of a fun schedule too for the fans in Pennsylvania. They get to see 3 NPF teams in the same day.
Any way to spread the word, Johnny.
Swing and a miss, and it counts 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Bandits will head right back to Pennsylvania. They play them on Monday, so they'll leave for Pennsylvania tomorrow and get ready here with the 5 teams in the league. The Dallas Charge entering in. A lot of the schedule's more compact. There's teams that'll play games basically right away, and it's gonna be fun for the players. Obviously there'll be days off. I mean, the Bandits had 3 days off between games when they played the Rebellion series and then get started in this series, but overall it's gotta be fun to just get right back at it.
Yep, it's a little way to kind of like make things a little more popular for this league, which is already.
Ball 4, a leadoff walk as Kaylee Quico draws the walk. It is Tatum Edwards' first walk, or second walk of the ball game. And now Jessica Garcia will stand in, designated player for the Racers, 2 for 11 to start the season. Here is Garcia has started now for the 4th time this year. Out of the 5 games, missed 1 so far this season. Action Eric in the NPF, the USSSA Pride are playing their first game of the season tonight against the Dallas Charge. And they lead it by a score of 2-0. And Shelby Penley and Jessica Chamberlain, the top 2 draft picks in this year's NPF draft, are a combined 3 for 3. So good start for the Oklahoma players as into right field, and Hernandez just had her go off her glove in foul territory. So Garcia lives for another pitch. Tough play for Natalie. She had to get over. Did go off her glove. She got there but couldn't haul it in.
Play anyway for Natalie because the wind was kind of kicking to that direction at the time, and it just bounced off a glove. It would have been a great play, a great running catch, but give credit to Natalie for getting over there.
Inside is ball 3, so Edwards has walked the last 2 batters. It's 3-1 on Garcia. She got around the walk in the first inning when Myers with 2 outs was thrown out trying to steal, but now has had a little issues with control. And a 3-1, what a play by Amber. It's a fair ball, throw to second, and they got her at the base. Amber Patton shining the leather once again on a hard hit ball down the line. Throw to second with Zimkowitz covering for out number 1. That's why they're professionals. Eric, that was a tremendous play by Patton. We've seen it every year from the third baseman since she's been in the league.
No one more reliable at third base than Amber Patton. It was a terrific play, terrific dive. It was a close play at second base, but she managed to get it over there just in time for the out.
So Quico's retired at second on the force. Garcia takes first base, and Haley Houghton now will stand in as the tall Haley Houghton. Heighton, not listed on the Racer roster as we speak, but she is a tall one. I mean, you're 6 feet, Haley Houghton, if maybe even over than that. 2 balls and no strikes. And the pitch is swung on and missed, and the count is 2-1. Now that helps when you're a pitcher and you've had some control issues a little bit, and then there's the ball hit, the defense could pick you up. Certainly can get you back into a rhythm after a nice defensive play.
Tatum's just missing her spot on those pitches, Johnny.
Gotten away with it so far. You can thank Patton for one play this inning. You can thank the caught stealing as well. trying to pitch around it. 3-1 pitch, and that's ball 4. So, 2 walks in the inning, 3 in the game. Tatum Edwards on the year, 2-0 with a 2.03 ERA. But in the 10 and the third innings coming into this game, Eric, she has walked 7 batters. Now she's walked 10 batters on the year in just over 11 innings. And in that 10 walks, she has 6 strikeouts, but she's been able to pitch around. It's a sparkling 203, so you have to credit Tatum. Obviously, as a pitcher, you do not want to live on the edge with the walks, but she has been able to pitch out of jams and has gotten off to a good start in her Bandit career.
Yes, she has. She's pitched extremely well. She's appeared in games and gotten the job done in relief, but she's going to be really tested now in the circle here tonight with 2 runners on and 1 out.
For Taylor Schlopey, for the Racers, Schlopey in her 5th season with Akron, and the veteran center fielder takes the ball. Coach Mike Sturwald had a discussion with Edwards in the defense, trying to settle her down. And now it's 2 balls and no strikes. Saw it last night when Coach Stu came out to talk to Lacey Waldrop when Lacey had 2nd and 3rd and 1 out jam, and Lacey was able to get 2 strikeouts out of it. Now it's 3 balls and no strikes. So as a coach, you always got to come out, and sometimes the players themselves, you got some veterans out there that can calm the pitcher down, but sometimes it takes the head coach to do it too. And when you have Tammy Williams and Amber Patton out there, Danielle Zimkowitz, veteran infielders behind you, they could certainly, I know they're always talking and communicating with the pitcher, trying to get them in the right mentality. There's strike 2.
She got lucky on that one. I thought that one was a little bit low, but a great flame by Vicky Galasso.
Off-speed pitch on 3-1. We'll see what she goes with on 3-2. And it's ball 4, so she's walked the bases loaded. 4 walks total in the ball game. And now it brings up the spark plug at the bottom of the lineup, Kelly Montalvo. Montalvo and Schlopey, they have been veterans for this Racer Ball Club, and head coach Brian Levin in his 2nd season, and came in last year. They were the top coaching staff in the NPF as voted on by the league, and they certainly have some good veterans here between Schlopey and Montalvo that are leaders for the Akron Racer team. Montalvo down to the count, 0-2. But Montalvo's always been a leader, Eric. She is someone certainly who's respected by a lot of players around the league and teams, and now she's going to have an RBI as it's fisted into right field for a base hit. They'll hold Uten at 3rd. It is a bases loaded single here, and they move up a base, and it's 1-0 Akron.
I think Tatum's feeling a little uncomfy right now with having walked the bases loaded and now gave up that RBI to Kelly Montalvo. Now Tammy Williams is over there as the leader that she is and trying to calm her down.
So Uten at 3rd, Schlopey at 2nd, Montalvo at 1st base. We'd like to welcome in on the stream all of you tuning in, and Dale Leslie tuning in once again from Manchester, England. Out there, he's been tuning into the streams for I was doing the games with Mike in 2012 and 2013 on the broadcast. Did a couple games last year, and Eric, it's fun to join you here for our first Chicago Bandits game together.
It's been fun so far.
1-0 Akron. Bases are still loaded, and there's still only 1 out for Ashley Thomas. And it's down low and outside to Thomas. By the way, that was his first hit of the season. Montalvo was 0 for 10. That's her first hit of the year, and it's an RBI. And there's a bouncer foul. Megan Blank picks it up in foul territory. So we told you about the Racers. Narissa Myers only has 1 hit on the year, but it's been a home run. Kaylee Quico only has 2 hits this year, but both of them home runs. This is Kelly Montalvo's first hit of the year, and it's an RBI. Swing and a miss. Ashley Thomas strikes out. First strikeout of the game. Second out of the inning. And we're back to the and Jill Barrett. So Thomas could not get the big hit there, but when you look at these players, Eric, on the Akron team, some of them whose averages are kind of low this year, but they've been able to come up with some big hits in key spots, just like Montalvo did there with the RBI single.
Yep, clutch hit right there, was able to get the run in, and now the Racers are currently on top, 1-0.
1-0 pitch to Barrett, who flied out to shallow left field for Brenna Moss, just about 5 feet beyond the infield turf. Made the play and left for the first out of the ball game. 1-1 on Barrett here in the second inning. It skips into Galasso, and the count goes to 2 balls. And the Racer left fielder. Alongside Eric Katz, I am Johnny Sole here on a beautiful Saturday night for softball and a busy sports day around the country. There's a nice change. That off-speed pitch has been good for Tatum in this inning around the walk. She's gotten that going. The Chicago Blackhawks sing event today. 2-2 pitch. That's low and outside, and the count goes full. But congratulations, Eric, to American Pharoah and their team for winning the Triple Crown. Not easy to do that. Maybe a new movie will be coming out about him. Good job to stay alive there by Barrett, but congratulations to American Pharoah.
Yes, indeed. First Triple Crown winner since 1978.
Three balls and 2 strikes. Maybe someone will win the Triple Crown in the NPF this year on the softball version. Bouncer to short, flip to second base, and Tammy over to Z for out number 3. But the RBI single by Kelly Montalvo is the only hit of the inning. There were 3 walks in the inning as well. And we go to the bottom half of the second inning. Akron 1, Chicago 0. This is the National Pro Fast Pitch softball between the Racers and the Bandits on ChicagoBandits.com and YouTube. Back here as we go to the bottom half of the second inning, and Taylor Edwards trying to help out her sister Tatum. Tatum pitched around the jam again. She's been doing that a lot this year, able to pitch around jams. The bases were loaded with a 1 out. And there's a swing and a miss, and the count's 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitcher for the Akron Racers is Laura Winter. Did not give you the stats from Winter in the bottom half of the first inning, as that pitch is hit into left foul. Counts 1 ball and 2 strikes. Laura Winter making her first start of the season. It's her third appearance overall, but her first start so far in 4 1/3 innings. She's 1-1, the ERA of 1.62. It's now 5 1/3 innings after the first. That was a rocket shot past Mike Sturwald, but foul. And the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Coach Mike Sturwald at third base. Coach Roman 4 over at first. And Eric, the USSSA Pride, coming off back-to-back championship seasons. They're out to a good start in their first game. Kat Osterman has not allowed a hit in the first. Shelby Penley is 3 for 3 in her first start. The rookie Jessica 1 for 1 with a walk in her first start. Edwards hits a fly to left here in Chicago, meanwhile, and that one is hauled in by Jill Barrett. But over in Dallas, and the Pride off to a good start, Eric.
Yes, indeed. Currently, Kat Osterman has a perfect game going. She has 7 strikeouts tonight. Yeah, you think this will be her final year?
Well, if it is, I'm sure a lot of players around the league will be breathing a sigh of relief. But it's also, even though it's very tough to face her, certainly highly respected, and comes in here, 7 strikeouts already in 3 innings. She's picking up where she left off from last year. Pride certainly the team to beat. Dance out to that 5-0 record. Chicago and USSSA will meet for the first time this season here in Chicago on June 29th through July 2nd for a 4-game series, Monday through Thursday, all at 7:05. Megan Blank to right field, and that is made by Gilbert. So a fly to left and a fly to right has retired Edwards and Blank, and now Amber Patton standing in for the Bandits. Patton on the year, 375, 6 for 6. And a hit to Myers, who bobbles it and will have no play. That's Eric on Narissa Myers.
And they're marking it down just as that. I think this is the second error of the series for Narissa Myers at shortstop.
And overall, it is Myers' second error on the year, and they both come here at the ballpark at Rosemont. 2 outs for Natalie Hernandez. High and outside, 1 ball and no strikes to Hernandez, the Bandit right fielder, who is making her first start of the season. She only has 2 at-bats in a pinch hitting role, and she hits that one to right field. Tough play, foul territory. Running catch by Ashley Thomas. The second, the only one that would have had a play, and the speed got her there, and she hauls it in for out number 3. So the Bandits get the error, and Amber Patton reaches, but that's it as they leave the runner at. We head to the third at second. Brought to you by Des Plaines Park District, and after 2 innings, it's Akron 1, Chicago 0. This is the NPF on ChicagoBandits.com. Back here as we go to the top half of the third inning, 2, 3, 4 hitters. Jen Gilbert, Narissa Myers, and Kaylee Quico due up for the Racers. Jen Gilbert, the right fielder, 0 for 1. She bounced to Megan Blank at first base. And the 1-0 pitch is low and outside. And the count goes to 2-0. Tatum Edwards here to Gilbert. And backing up out of the circle. And Galasso's going to have a talk with her here. She tries to regroup and find the zone. It's been a little around the zone. Again, she walked the bases loaded. In the second, but pitched around it. That pitch is high and the count. It's 3 balls. And
Jen Gilbert yesterday had to come out of the game, Johnny, because she fouled off a pitch and it hit her right in the bone area where your eye is, and it swelled up. Fortunately, the swelling has stopped, according to Coach Brian Levan.
3 balls and no strikes on Gilbert. And that's ball 4. So, the 5th walk, Eric, of the game so far for Tatum Edwards.
Is struggling with command. She hasn't been able to hit her spots. That's something she's been able to do all throughout the series against the Rebellion and also against the Racers in the first game. She's really struggling tonight with command.
Pitch, there's a bunt and tough play. Amber bare hands, throws, and it gets away. But we have interference, I think. The ball got away, it hit Myers. They're going to call interference on Narissa Zimkowitz, and the runner arrived at the same time, and that's a tough call for the umpire to see exactly where they're running down the baseline. The ball kind of disappeared as Zimkowitz and Myers converged together as Amber had that bare hand and then had to throw around the runner. And there, if you look at Coach, he is talking to the home plate umpire just to kind of confer exactly where they run. It's a tough call to see exactly where they're running on the baseline.
It looked like Danielle Zimkowitz had it, but Narissa Myers kind of came in there and collided. That's the second interference Narissa Myers has been called out on. She was called out in the first game when she tried to bunt and it went right off her legs in fair territory. She's having a tough time with the ball.
And it's partly where you're running down to the base, but it's also, as Eric pointed out, if that was, played by the glove and then knocked out of the glove, the ball arrived exactly at the same time. Nothing really for Narissa to do right there. She's just trying to get to first base. This is an unfortunate play for the Racer shortstop.
It's the second time it's happened to her also this series.
So yes, that's what they say. The interference is ball knocked out of Zimkowitz's glove.
Current trend, Johnny, is Tatum Edwards is just not hitting her spots so far. She's been struggling with command, and she already has, I believe.
Pitch is down low and inside, and the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes.
I really like the Bandits jersey down there. It kind of looks like what the White Sox did a couple of years ago when they were having that special Sunday jersey of their throwbacks from the 90s.
They had those in the locker room. I was getting ready to see those get brought out. Their new white jerseys with the Chicago chest. You like them?
I do.
Me too. 3 balls and a strike. That's in there, and it's 3-1. You like the little retro feel.
I do.
You're an old school. So am I. I am too.
It's a nice throwback. Something we didn't really get to see, some of us growing up, and we get to see it now. Kind of bring it into our generation.
3 balls, 2 strikes. That's ball 4. Another walk. This is not a good theme here, but the one positive out of this, Eric, is throughout these control issues, Tatum Edwards done a nice job as Jessica Garcia stands in. She's done a nice job of pitching around these walks, and the interference certainly helped out.
Yep, now there's an opportunity for a double play since there are runners on first and second, and that creates a force play at third base and also at second base. So they have options here to get outs.
Garcia hits a foul ball on the right field line. As it's 0-1 on Garcia, hitting to a force out at second base. A nice play by Amber Patton, a bouncer that was hit hard down the third baseline, and Eric.
Ball, just not sure what happened to it because the ball disappeared. From my angle, it looked like Zimko has had it.
It must have been in her glove if it arrived for the interference. If it wasn't in her glove, maybe they say that Myers bumped into her, not giving Z a chance. At the younger levels, they have the two bases at first. The one base for the runner and the one base for the hitter. This ball could be trouble. A little looper into right. It'll get down in front of Hernandez. Over to third base. And getting in there is Uten. And it'll bring up, or excuse me, Uten's at home. But in there at third base, Gilbert. And trouble here for the Racers, or for the Bandits here, as the Racers in another rally here, Eric.
Bandits are just having a little trouble here. Tatum Edwards is just struggling overall. I mean, she's been getting one out at a time. I mean, you can't be doing that, and you can't be giving up free passes, which ultimately lead to 3 runs possibly. It's already led to Montalvo hitting that little up there, which brought in the only run of the game.
And we might see a substitution as Coach Mike Sturwell out to talk to try to possibly get a new pitcher maybe here.
I don't see any action in the Bandits bullpen.
They're waiting for somebody to come in. And Michelle Gascoigne's going to come in. It was Gascoigne in the bullpen warming up. So we, Eric, might see Michelle for the first time this season.
Michelle was concluding her graduate manager duties at the University of Oklahoma, with also helping coach Shelby Pendley and also Lauren Chamberlain, who's also the NCAA's all-time leading home run leader with 95 in her career. Considering the fact that she's been hurt so much for parts of her NPF career with the back and among other things, it's amazing what records she's been able to create.
And Gascoigne certainly knows all about Chamberlain and Penley, and Michelle will take the circle for the Chicago Bandits and in relief. And when you look at what Gascoigne's been able to do throughout the course of her career, Eric, all NPF pitcher, you have Monica Abbott when she comes in, who's been able to step up and be the ace, obviously, of the staff, Monica. But Michelle Gascoigne, it's like having a second ace, just like in Oklahoma when she was pitching behind Kalani Ricketts. I feel like she's always been stuck in that number 2 spot. But Gascoigne out there on the circle.
She was the clinching pitcher when Oklahoma won the College World Series that year.
Gascoigne last year 6-4 with an ERA of 108. Tough to have 4 losses when your ERA is 108, but some games. Gascoigne got the win in the Bandits' one game where they won in the series against the Racers in the playoffs last year in Hoover. And Gascoigne's first pitch of the 2015 season for her is a strike to Haley Uten, no balls, and a strike in for Tatum Edwards, Eric. It was just the walks that got to her. Racers only have 2 hits so far, but those walks were certainly a big issue. They're not hitting Edwards hard. It's now 0-2. So far, so good for Michelle. They're not hit Edwards hard, but those walks certainly were her downfall.
I mean, she was just handing out free passes. Her control and her command wasn't there tonight.
She walked 6 in 2 1/3 innings. But her ERA is, if Gascoigne can help her out here, obviously these 3 runners are all to the responsibility of Tatum, but if Gascoigne can get going out of relief, that ERA at 2.03, even though the walks have been an issue, she has not been hit too much, has Tatum, but again, got to cut down on the walks. 0-2, up high, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gascoigne did arrive here for the Racer Series. This week she came over. Oklahoma ended their run in the postseason a little sooner, if you will, than they usually are used to. But the Oklahoma Sooners, and Gascoigne, who's the coach over there, also finishing up her schooling, as you said, but she's been here since the middle of the week, but kind of get her time to settle in. But you know, once she takes the circle, she's ready. Swing and a miss.
Well, Johnny, someone's excited to be back playing in the MPF again.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Michelle, when you look at her one strikeout, and now Taylor Slopey stands in. So Uten's now walked and struck out. Here's Slopey. I'd like to welcome Jim Wason watching from Fargo, North Dakota. Swing and a miss there. Gascoigne certainly, she really gets tense look on her circle. Really bears down when she gets on that circle. No balls and a strike. Gascoigne to Slopey here as the Bandits looking to work out of another jam. Racers left the bases loaded last inning, even though they scored one run. Had the bases loaded here and one out, have not scored any runs yet.
That's been the issue for them this season. I was talking to Coach Levin yesterday, and she said that they have to stop leaving runners on base.
1-1 pitch, bouncer to third. Well, they won't stop yet as Patton makes the play, steps on the bag for out number 3. What a job by Michelle Gascoigne. Welcome back, Michelle. Gets out of that jam, and the Racers leave 3 more. After 2.5 innings, the Racers 1, the Bandits nothing. You're watching National Pro Fast Pitch Softball on YouTube and ChicagoBandits.com. Back here as we go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Racers 1, Bandits 0. Chicago Bandits softball here at the ballpark at Rosemont being brought to you by Des Plaines Golf Center and Lake Park Golf Course and Marina. Nearby Lake Park Golf Course and Marina has something fun for the whole family. The Des Plaines Golf Center. The 18-hole sporty short course is perfect for beginning golfers. Des Plaines Golf Center, the sponsor of the 2nd inning. The 3rd inning of action here is brought Dr. Jackson and Oral Healthcare Professionals. Dr. Jackson, sponsor of the 3rd. Oral Healthcare Professionals strives to provide true comprehensive family dentistry of quality and care unmatched by any dental practice in the western suburbs. Racers, Eric, have left some runners on base so far in this game.
Yep, that's been their theme so far this season.
A fan of softball into the broadcast. You can email the broadcast at streaming at ChicagoBandits.com. As Vicky Galasso here, 1 ball, 2 strikes from Laura Winter.
We want to apologize to the fans who may be experiencing some choppiness or other technical difficulties. We're doing our best to get those taken care of.
Swing and a miss. Uten will throw down to first base as in the turf. Completes the strikeout of Galasso. That was her first at bat in the NPF for the catcher Galasso from Idaho State. Eric.
Yep, open tryout signee. Had to really battle to earn a spot on the roster as a backup catcher. There were over 31 girls who came out to try out to become a potential NPF player.
The Rebellion were here for the tryouts along with the Racers as well as some representatives from a couple other teams. looked into those tryouts as well. You got the draft, obviously, and there's a lot of college softball players coming in that were not drafted that certainly have the ability to play at this level. And as the league could grow, certainly a lot of players across the country could step into this league. And certainly when you look at Galasso and Daniel Zimkowitz, who's sitting here, the Bandit second baseman. Zimkowitz also came out of the tryout. Hard to believe some of the talent that the Bandits have had from the tryouts between Zimkowitz. Bernie Cervantes, the power hitter, was from the tryouts as well. 0-2 pitch, that's fisted to second base, and the play is made there by Ashley Thomas for out number 2. The Bandits looking at the hit of the ball game. They have their only base runner was an error on Narissa Myers last inning, and now we're back to the top of the order, and Brenna Moss, as Winter in her first start, looking pretty good so far, Eric.
She's really recovered well since being the losing pitcher in the first game of the series.
The 1-0 pitch, outside, count 2-0 on Brenna. Brenna hit a little pop to short, and Narissa Myers made the play in the first inning. 2 outs, nobody on. The 2-0 pitch. That's a strike, and the count's 2-1.
Great pitch by Laura Winter, put it right at the letters of Brenna Moss.
2-1 pitch. There's a bunt. Montalvo's got it, and there's number 3. Montalvo's a little shorter than Laura Winter, isn't she? Top half of the fourth. Racers and Bandits at a 1-0 after 3. You're watching NPF here on ChicagoBandits.com and YouTube. Back here we go to the top of the fourth inning in Chicago. The Racers leading the Bandits 1-0. Gascoigne out for her first full inning of work. She came in relief last inning and got out of the bases loaded 1 out jam. Stranding 3 runners on base as she came in relief for Tatum Edwards, who went an inning in a third. We're here in the Montalvo, Thomas, and Barrett due up for Akron. There's a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike on Montalvo, who got her first hit of the season in the second inning, and it run. That's the only run of the ball game so far. The Bandits do not have a hit. The Racers have 2 hits. Montalvo skies one, foul territory and out of play. And it's 1-2. Some noise being made in Dallas, Eric.
Yep, back-to-back home runs were hit off of Cat.
That doesn't happen very often.
I didn't think.
She was mowing right along, hadn't allowed a base runner, and poof, 2 home runs in the of her. Dallas has a good roster. They're going to be very good in their first year in the NPF. Got a good team. Earlier, by the way, I said Jessica Chamberlain for some reason. I meant Lauren Chamberlain for the Pride. She's 1 for 2 in her first game. And Shelby Penley 3 for 3. And speaking of Oklahoma, Gascoigne here has a 2-2 count on Kelly Montalvo. Who hit those homers? Looks like Mickey Kenny and Mickey Kenny and Angeline Chiocho. There's a rip foul, and it stays at 2-2 on Montalvo.
I remember when we were at the draft party over at Adobe Gillis, I remember saying when Shelby Penley and Lauren Chamberlain were drafted, I was thinking, Michelle's going to have this easy.
It'll be fun when she pitches against her. That'll be student versus teacher on academic night. It's perfect.
Perfect.
Well, academic night's tonight, so, but nonetheless.
I was thinking Star Wars.
You want a Star Wars night, huh?
You know, if you think about it, you know, master teacher.
Oh, I like that. 3-2, ball four. So there's Gascoigne's first walk of the game, but it's the 7th walk issued by Bandit pitchers here. 6 of them from the starter. Tatum Edwards. We also have a switch at catcher. Eric, it looks like Taylor Edwards came in to catch as well for Galasso. So the battery is Gascoigne and Taylor Edwards. Bunt by Ashley Thomas goes foul, and the count's 0-1 as she tried to get Montalvo over to second base. Montalvo has been active today, a RBI single and leadoff walk here in the top half of the 4th inning.
Infield's drawing in, they know what's going to happen.
We'll have Eric do the broadcast tonight in the 5th and 6th inning. I just stole the show from you, Eric. I'm sorry, but Eric will do the 5th and 6th play-by-play. We're going to switch it up a little bit. You're probably sitting over there wondering what I was doing. I just kept going. I had momentum here. I just kept. You can't get me to shut up. Zimkowitz, did she make the play? Yes. Throw to first. She can't get the double play, but for the top of her glove, Zimkowitz hauls it in for.
She had to dive almost across the diamond to make that catch. It would have been a great play if she made the double play. Maybe that would have been seen on Sports Center, but certainly a web gem here tonight for the MPF.
Wow. Montalvo's probably thinking, I have to go back to what happened. That's a great job not to be doubled up, but Zimkowitz really had a tough play she had to be throwing that from the turf, laying down. But what a catch as Thomas is robbed of a base hit. Jill Barrett, here's a look at the replay. Zimkowitz, whoa. That is tremendous. And Montalvo, now if Zimkowitz was able to get up, and she had time, but asking a little too much. But what a play there. So, Bandits been flashing some leather. Zimkowitz off the end of the glove. Natalie Hernandez in right field, Eric. She was ready for that one, but like, I'll take it for the out. Barrett 2-0 pitch. She went, and it's 2-1. Besides we've seen the walks from the Bandit pitchers, and we talked about how they've been able to get out of jams. You have to credit the Bandit defense as well in this game for what they've been able to do behind the pitching staff.
Despite the struggles of Tatum Edwards, they've been able to help her limit the damage, and they're lucky it's only 1-0.
Jill Barrett here, her parents are watching as well, including her dad, Kevin Barrett. Foul ball right below us. Oh, it's actually in the lower level. I didn't get a very good view. I thought that was coming to me. I wasn't even close, but Kevin Barrett's dad Jill Barrett's dad, Kevin, tuning in, watching the stream. Fun to get the family that can't make it to the game. It's always good to have them tune in and support their children on all the teams throughout the course of the league.
We're too old to have your parents supporting you, Johnny.
And when you're in the professional ranks, you certainly credit the family for all that they've done watching games since you were a little kid. Ball is high, and there's just another walk. A lot of walks here. Eric, the Bandits have walked 8 batters. That's right, 8 batters in this game. The Racers only have 2 hits, but there's been 8 walks so far in the game.
Well, just flashed up on the scoreboard was another goal by the Chicago Blackhawks to tie it 3-3.
Blackhawks and Lightning in game 2 of the stand on Monday here in Chicago. All the Bandits, especially Chicago. He's happy that the Blackhawks tied the game at 3 late, but he wants the Bandits to get going as well here. But Laura Winter has pitched tremendously for Akron, but the Racer offense, as Gascoigne and Edwards taking some time to get together, and time called on the field by Gilbert. The Racer offense has not been able to take advantage of opportunities. There's a strike right down the middle. Gilbert was ready for something else. That was right in there for a strike.
Great pitch by Gascoigne, basically a deer in the headlight pitch, kind of froze Jen Gilbert right there and was able to get another strikeout for Michelle Gascoigne.
Gascoigne's second strikeout since coming in last inning. That ball takes a tough hop on Zipkowitz, but she flips the short stop Williams for the force. And that ends the innings of the Bandits. Pitch around the 2 walks as well. In this inning, the Racers leave 2 more on the base pads. They have left in this game 9 runners through the first 4 innings. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Akron does lead 1-0 behind the pitching of Laura Winter. This is the NPF on Bandits.com. Back here as we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Emily Allard to lead it off for Chicago here as the Bandits look for their first hit against Laura Winter. It'll be Allard, Tammy Williams, and Taylor Edwards due up here against the Racer right-handed pitcher. And the 4th inning of the Ballpark Rosemont action here in the NPF is being brought to you by Don Q. Ron. There's a bouncer to second. And Ashley Thomas is out Allard for the 2nd time today. Allard 2. 4th innings when enjoying Don Q. Rum. Don Q. Rum lounge in right field is here at the Bandit games. Also the party deck out in left field. Local Bandit sponsors are in the party deck tonight. A lot of groups in action in this game. We've seen fans around the home plate area and in right field supporting the Bandits. And on the first base line as well, Central District Girls Softball Local League here. ESAA is here as well, local organization. The Edgebrook-Sauganash Athletic Association Softball. 1-2 here on Tammy Williams with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Creek Chaos, 12U Homer Fire, and the Solario Sun Warriors. Teams in action, also some birthdays in the house tonight. Emma Witt, Taryn Klein, and Isa Hollenstein. Happy birthdays As there's a grounder to Williams' counterpart. Narissa Myers makes the play. Number 2.
Great play by Narissa Myers, this time securing the ball and was able to get a good throw off to throw out Tammy Williams.
How about Winter tonight? She has been lights out. The only band was that error. And Edwards takes it for a ball, 1-0.
Kelly Kreshman homered, hit a 2-run homer to make the score at the time. It's now 5-2 in favor of the Pride. Pride have a way, Johnny, of outslugging you.
Even with Osterman on the circle, you certainly want to get as many runs as possible. Swing and a miss. Winter has an off speed. She comes in looking like the power pitcher. She has speed on her pitches. And she's got a good off speed as well. And had a good grip here. The 1-2. That's a change. She misses inside though. And they count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Laura Winter in her first year she went to the University of North. And the Fighting Irish player turned in here to a Fighting Racer, and so far so good. 3-2. Strike inside corner. Winter strikes out Edwards, and the inning is over. Laura Winter, the story tonight. And after 4, the score, Racers 1 and the Bandits nothing. Eric Katz will take over play-by-play at the top of the 5th here after the break. You are watching Fast Pitch on ChicagoBandits.com and YouTube.
Hello everybody, this is Eric Katz from the Ballpark in Rosemont. It is currently 1-0 in favor of the Akron Racers thanks to an RBI single by Kelly Montavolo. Their series, Kaylee Quico has 2 home runs and 3 RBI. In this game though, she has walked twice. Gascoigne came in relief of Tatum Edwards, who originally started the game and making her debut in the circle tonight. There's a ball in the bunt attempt by Quico.
Speaking of the circle, how about Laura Winter? No hitter so far through the first 4 innings.
Yep, the only blemish is that error. 1-1 now to Quico.
Winter's been mixing up pitches, inside corner, off speed.
And Quico launches that one deep. And Brennan Moss is going to settle under that for the first out.
Nice job there by Moss. And back on the ball, a hard hit ball, but she was able to get the play as she went back at it. Ball looked like it was struck pretty hard, but long way out there to that party deck in left field.
They certainly had their fun on the first game of the series.
Seen a few balls get hit to that party deck.
Here's Jessica Garcia. To Zimkowitz. Throws it over to Megan Blank for the one pitch and one out.
Bandits pitching staff here keeping their team in the game. Talked about the Racers leaving a lot of runners on base. Really hasn't been a lot of clean innings for the Bandits. Gascoigne trying to get one here with Haley Hooten up.
Here's Haley Hooten. Takes that one in there for strike one. Tonight, Haley Hooten has walked, and she also...
Bandits have not had a 3-up, 3-out inning in this so far. See if they can get one here.
Gascoigne looks in. Here's the pitch. Takes that one a little bit outside for ball one. 1-1. Haley Hooten came out of the University of Houston. Gascoigne back on the slab. Here's the pitch. That one is laced, and that's a fair ball. As Hooten is gonna try to head for second, and she's gonna get in there standing up. So a leadoff single, a double for Haley Hooten, and with 2 outs, that is going to bring up Taylor Schlope.
Haley Hooten from Houston. Say that 10 times fast. And she got a double. And she hit the second base, selling a rocket shot down past Amber Patton. Only question was fair or foul, but inside the bag. And over to left field. And it's the third hit. And Taylor Schlope will stand in for the Racers.
Here's the pitch from Gascoigne. Takes that one in for strike one. Tonight, Schlope has grounded out, and she's also walked.
Tonight's 5th inning is being sponsored by American Chartered Bank. Bank where the pros bank.
Last night, Amber Patton was pretty busy over at third base. Tonight, that is the case also.
She's always busy over. Bandit infield's made some tremendous plays in this game. Go back to that play Daniel Zimkowitz made. That diving play, jumping up and getting the catch outstretched with the glove before it went into right field a couple innings ago. That was probably the best defensive play so far. There's been a few of them.
Gascoigne pulls the string on that one and gets a strike. So now it is 1-2 now on Taylor Schlope with 2 outs. Well, Taylor Edwards almost overthrew that, and that could have wound up in center field as Gascoigne had to jump up a little bit. Here's the pitch from Gascoigne. That one is laced foul. Just over the Bandits bullpen.
Couple bat girls for the Bandits once again tonight. And the Bandit for a day was Megan Fournier. Daniela and Katerina Miljutinovic was the bat girl and Bandit for her day. Sign up for those. Bandits.com.
Fouled again by Schlope, and the count still remains 1-2.
You do not have to be a bat boy. We're going to have a bat boy later on. And Eric will not be doing that. He's going to be broadcasting. Hard to do both of those.
I could just keep the headset on and run back and forth.
You get a lot of exercise that way.
We'll just have thousands of wires coming out the press box. Takes that one high, and it's 2-2 now to Schlope.
You would want to broadcast driving your car down the highway too.
I would totally do that.
To Eric Katz, live from the expressway out beyond the outfield fence. But he's next to me. He's not in the highway.
Takes that one low and away, and it's full count now to Taylor Schlope, the former University of Georgia Bulldog.
A little safer up here in the press box. A little kind of a calm Saturday night of traffic out there on the highway. They're all watching the Blackhawks and Bandits games.
That one is fouled back.
That one on top of the press box over by our crew.
That one looked like it was coming at Caroline.
You look alive over there. You had one come up here yet this season?
Well, I had one kind of go up, but not at me. Well, we saw one come over at Steve, and Steve jumped up. And there's ball 4, so another walk issued by the Bandits pitchers, and Taylor Slopey is going to be on first base.
It's 9 walks. 3 by Gascoigne, first and second, 2 outs. But it's only 1-0.
Pulls the string on that one and gets to go for strike 1. We're playing medium depth. Tammy Williams and Daniel Zimkowitz playing back, while Amber Patton is playing in just past the bag. Here's the pitch from Gascoigne. That one is laced, and it's going to be over the head of Brenna Moss, and that's going to be trouble. It's off the wall. 1 run's going to score. Another one going to score. And so an RBI double by Kelly Montavlo, who had her hat fly off in the midst of the run. Now 3-0.
Montalvo lost her helmet, and the Bandits here lost their opportunity to try to strand runners on base again. And how about Montalvo? 0 for 10 on the year coming in. She has a walk in this game. She now has 2 hits. She's 2 for 12 on the year now with the 2 base hits today and 3 RBIs. And the big players of this game for Akron tonight are the pitcher Laura Winter and their third baseman Kelly Montalvo. Have led the way in this 3-0. Racers have had leads in this series. That has not been the problem, especially in that first game. Looked like the Bandits were going to fall. It was not going well for them in their home opener, and they scored 4 runs the last 2 innings to tie the game. They're going to need to come back again here as the Racers look to salvage a win in this series.
Here's another pitch by Thomas, swings and a miss there. So now the count 2 on Ashley Thomas, who was 0 for 2 tonight, who lined out to Danielle Zimkowitz and then also has struck out. 1-2 now, Thomas. Here's the pitch from Gascoigne. And finally, Michelle Gascoigne gets the strikeout, but the damage is done as the Akron Racers have now extended their lead 3-0 thanks to an RBI double by Kelly Montalvo. We head now to the bottom of the 5th inning, 3-0. You're watching Chicago Bandits softball on YouTube and ChicagoBandits.com. All right, welcome back to the ballpark in Rosemont. 3-0 in favor of the Akron Racers, and Laura Winter so far has a no-hitter going, and she has 3 runs behind her thanks to the RBIs by Kelly Montalvo. In the 3rd period, Tampa Bay Lightning scored, and they lead the Blackhawks 4-3.
Things are not going well for the Chicago Bees here, Bandits and Blackhawks. A lot of Chicago's teams have B. Bandits, Blackhawks, Bears, Bulls. Well, only 4 of them, but you get the point.
Yep. 2-0 now to Megan Blank. Tonight, her only at bat flew out to right field. Right to Jen. Here's the pitch from Winter. And Blank gets that one up in the air. But it's going to be a canopy. So now on base tonight.
turned in to an error on Narissa Myers in the second inning. As it was a hard hit ball on a couple bounces, but right at Myers, and she was unable to make the play. That is the only base runner, the only thing keeping Winter so far as we speak between her and a perfect game. There's that inside corner. She's been able to power through. Lead. And also the Bandits, are missing a big part of their order with Brittany Cervantes today. They'll be back in action in Pennsylvania, but no injury for Brittany. Just a day off here, but Bandits certainly, things changed when a big part of the lineup is out of there.
That one is right to Narissa Myers, and she makes another error. Third error of the series, a tough fielding series for Narissa Myers.
Apparently that's what the Bandits have to do is clone Amber Patton and have her keep hitting balls to Narissa Myers. Been the only, it's like a carbon copy of what happened in Patton's first at bat. You think Narissa would have figured it out the first time, huh?
And Hernandez gets the first hit at night, and it's going to be to the wall. Patton's going to come home, and the throw is not going to be in time, and the Bandits have now got into 2 runs.
2-run deficit here now as the Bandits have cut it to a 3-1 game. As Pitch takes advantage of the error and gets into second base. It's Natalie's first hit of the season. Again, this is her first start. She comes through with an RBI. And meanwhile, Vicky Galasso here. Galasso started as the catcher and Taylor Edwards was the DP. They switched right when Michelle Gascoigne came in to pitch. Edwards took over the catching spot and Galasso became the DP. Meanwhile, Eric, we have a pinch runner as Sammy Marshall, the speedster from Western Illinois, the rookie who had a great career at Western, is the pinch runner at second base.
Here's Vicky Galasso. Takes that one outside for a ball. In her only at bat, she struck out swinging.
So that's the first hit, like you said, and it also is the first run.
Here's a pitch from Winter. Takes that one a little bit in, and it's 2-0. The Bandits have something going here. They're attempting to pick up the boxing gloves and try and tie the score up.
We've seen them come back already in this series, Eric.
From a much bigger deficit.
That was a thrilling opening night. Down 5-1. Cervantes that big 3-run homer in the 6th. Bandits tie it in the 7th. Win it in the 8th.
2-1 now on Galasso. That one is slapped, and that's going to get through the hole. And Marshall is going to hold at third base, so Galasso has her first hit of her NPF career, and now runners on the corners and 1 out.
Bandits here now. Brian Levine as he's out to talk to his team. This is the first sign of trouble here by the Racer pitcher Winter, who's been breezing through. And that's going to be it for her, looks like. Laura Winter now being replaced in the circle. What a job, though, by Winter overall. It's the first couple hits that she's given up. It started with the error by Myers, which kind of opened this up. And now the new pitcher for the Racers looks like it's Allison Owen. So Allison Owen, Eric, will take over in the circle for Winter, who overall, what a performance by Laura Winter. Those 2 errors by Myers, both on the at-bats by Amber Patton. You really can't fault Winter too much. That got things started. And then all of a sudden the Bandits, Natalie Hernandez got that hit. Then he had the hit by Galasso, and now it looks like Chicago has something going, and Allison Owen's going to come in for relief. So in her first start, there are certain pitchers, obviously, that you hold on a little tighter of a leash. But overall, what a great job there by Winter. And now the Racers are trying to bring in the pitcher here to get it done in relief with the rally being started.
Allison Owen appeared in the game last night in a losing cause and threw a scoreless inning.
Owen making her third appearance, 2 innings of work so far this year. She has allowed 1 run, it was earned, and allowed a hit.
Up. It's going to sound the glove, and Marshall's going to try and go home. The throw is not going to be there, so a sac fly RBI by Danielle Zimkowitz now has the Bandits within striking distance.
It's fast. So nice to have speed there. Some of the Bandit players on their team would not be able to score from third base on that. But the one difference here this year is there are a lot of different players they've added to the roster who can score on that. Certainly a lot when you look at Marshall, but Allard, there was one quick look there at third base by Jill Barrett.
That one is touched, and Brenna Moss won't get there, and the ball is dropped. So runner now, another error by the Akron Racers. So Brenna Moss reaches on the error.
Bandits here coming alive. Well, that's an error. That would have been a close play with Brenna Moss at first base. Either way, as you look at the ball hit to the infield, it's always tough to get Moss out. And when you look at the way the Bandits to get that speed at the top, and as an infielder, you do not have a big margin for error when you're trying to make the play, and that was still going to be an out, but the ball was dropped, hence the error by the first baseman, Kuika.
0-1 now to Emily Allard. Tonight, Allard grounding out to second base, and then grounding out to second base. Close play.
Yeah, Barrett's got her, or Thomas has got her twice.
That one is fouled back. So 0-2.
As usual, the rally would have started early. Apparently, Eric Katz.
Here's the pitch from Owen. Takes that one low and away. And so Brenna Moss gets the easy stolen base. She had hesitated there for a moment, Johnny.
Yeah, interesting there. Moss went on the play and was easily going to get into second with no throw coming down from the catcher, Hooten. But Moss kind of 3/4 of the way, looked back at the catcher, kind of stopped. Didn't know exactly, maybe if she didn't know where the ball was or if it was hit foul, just kind of stopped. But she had time, didn't matter as you look at the play at first, and that was going to possibly be out there. It would have been a close play either way at first base, but the error.
Takes that one low, and it's a full count now on Emily Allard. With first base open, the next batter is the always dangerous Tammy Williams, who has an RBI in this series, also has the game-winning run from the first game. Full count now to Allard. Here's the payoff pitch. That one is bounced. And Allard beats it out, and the Bandits have made this a whole new ball game. How about that, Johnny?
Tie game here as the Bandits have made it an exciting rally here, and just a bouncer. That one, high chopper off the turf. Nothing you can do there with that ball bouncing up in the air. As you look here at the replay, they just chopped into the turf over the circle, and really no play for Owen. As Allard beats it out, and the Bandits have tied the game at 3 on base early in the game. At the defense for the Bandits, but certainly the Racers could have had a lot more than just the 3 runs.
0-1 now on Williams. Here's the pitch from Owen. That one is slapped, but a great play by the left fielder. That was Jill Barrett who had to come over to the side and get that Tammy Williams frozen rope. So the Bandits score 3 runs here in the high up and make it a whole new ball game. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Chicago Bandits softball on YouTube and ChicagoBandits.com. All right, welcome back to the ballpark in Rosemont. Our score currently is 3-3, and just coming in, the Tampa Bay Lightning just beat the Blackhawks in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals in Tampa Bay, 4-3.
That was an exciting game in South Florida. The Blackhawks will have making a split in the first 2 games in Tampa. Up and meanwhile here in the NPF, wow, what a Eric. We saw the speed, we saw a big hit from Hernandez. Glasso got a hit in there as well. And now Gascoigne. As a pitcher, you know when your team comes back like that, you want to limit you do not want to any base runners. You want to get your offense right back out there and keep the momentum on your side.
0-2 now on Jill Barrett. Here's the pitch from Gascoigne. That one is slapped. It's over to Tammy Williams. She's going to have to get it away in a hurry. And Jill Barrett just beats out the throw from Tammy Williams. So an infield single for Jill Barrett. And this will bring up Jennifer Gilbert.
Gascoigne's got that spin, you know, with that ball, that screw kind of change that gets down and on hitters and gets a lot of grounders and bouncers. That one was chopped on a bounce over to Tammy Williams. But you look at the speed that you see from Barrett, and she was able to beat that out. Tammy looked like she took a little extra time, but you know, she still had that strong arm. But Tammy did say it was her bad, kind of talked to Michelle there, say maybe she could have got that one a little quicker, but no doubt you can't help the speed of Jill Barrett.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 1. 1-1 now to Jennifer Gilbert, who has walked. She also has ground for Patton, and she's also struck out looking. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Takes that one for strike 2. Now it's 1-2 now on Jen Gilbert.
Bandits not have a hit until that 5th inning and got 3 hits and 3 and started it against the starter Winter and finished it.
And Jen Gilbert goes down swinging, so that's going to be the first out of the inning. And this will bring up Nerissa Myers, who tonight is 0 for 3. She has reached base though with the walk, and she was also caught stealing on that wild rundown, especially with that laser arm of Vicky Glasso when she was behind the plate. She was also called out on an interference. Here's the pitch from Gascoigne. A little bit outside, 1-0.
Myers trying to get it done here at the plate. Said the 2 errors at shortstop. One kind of started the rally there for the Bandits in the bottom of the 5th.
That one's going to get away from Edwards. And so Jen Gilbert's going to wind up at second base on the pass ball.
So 2-0. And Myers with a home run. Got to watch out for Nerissa, the NPF Offensive Player of the Year in 2014. And Tom Collins is going to discuss things with the Racer head coach. And the Racers last year in that NPF semifinal matchup. Only series in the NPF playoffs last year in the league that went to 3 games. As the Bandits had trouble putting runs on the board. Bandits had trouble getting anything against Winter here in this game, as they try to sweep Akron, and Bandits is not going down without a fight, trying to get to 6-0 on the year.
Here's the pitch from Gascoigne. There's a strike right down the cannon.
Yeah, they pitch to Nerissa now, first base open, but the powerful Quico on deck as well here for the Racers.
Here's the pitch from Gascoigne. That one is fisted back foul, so now the deuces are wild, as Mike Nisovich would say.
That was the definition of fisted. It got right in on the hands of Myers. She took a big cut and ended up right in against her hands. Feel very good. It's a little warmer here tonight than it was yesterday, but still kind of chilly as we're in the 60s. Last night felt like a football game out here.
That one is fouled back just over our booth.
Gascoigne putting that in the perfect spot to Narissa. When you look at that ball, it's getting in on her hands. Myers trying to get out. Obviously, the power that she has, trying to get the bat out of the ball. And a couple times here, the last two pitches have gotten inside. Myers kind of spinning around as she tried to get it up to that ball, but she is staying alive.
From Gascoigne. That one is chopped. It's going to go over to Megan Blank. And Blank's able to get Myers out for the second out. But Jill Barrett moves over to third base.
Nice job by Blank over there at first base. Again, not only is the offense being missed from Cervantes, but certainly a steady at the first base position out there on the infield for Chicago. We've seen a couple players at first in the last 2 days between Verdon and now Blank. Nice to have versatility out there. The Bandits always look for players that can play multiple positions, and you can look at different points to come into a ball game and play. And if you can play multiple spots, you certainly have a better chance. It helps out the coaching staff. And there's throughout the course of their careers here, where even before professional rank had ever played a certain position, then they have to hop on there into professionals and play it. And the Bandits certainly are doing that here. They're not a verse.
Want to know now, Kaylee.
Most, if you will, on that pitch. Kind of hung up in the zone.
Tonight, Quico has walked twice and she's flown out.
Big spot here, runner on third.
2-0 now. There's a ball outside. It's 3-0 now to Kaylee Quico.
I think they're pitching around her a little bit here.
A little bit, especially with a runner on third base, Jill Barrett, with the speed that she possesses.
And Lake Quico's been hitting that long ball.
Gascoigne looks in. Here's the 3-0 pitch. There's a strike down the cannon.
At the same time, Gascoigne's really not a type of pitcher who you would ask the mentality of hers to go after everybody. Sometimes you just work and...
Gascoigne's a cowgirl. She'll pretty much go after anybody, including probably Megan Wiggins this season. Here's the 3-1 pitch. There's a strike again going down the cannon.
The fact that she went to Oklahoma, though, Eric, I don't know if she likes that cowgirl, the Oklahoma State. I don't know if she likes that one.
What's a sooner?
What's a later?
I know what a longhorn is. Yeah. Here's the pitch. And Gascoigne gets the big strikeout. And that's going to retire the side. And so, Jill. The score is 3-3. We are on YouTube and ChicagoBandits.com.
We're ready to go.
Right now to claim your cash.
Welcome back to the ballpark here in Rosemont. The score is 3-3, and for those just tuning into this game, you've missed a lot.
You have, as the Bandits did not have a hit up until the 5th inning, as Laura Winter, the starter for the Racers, was mowing them down. Only base runner was Amber Patton, reaching on an error in the 2nd inning. Then deja vu all over again. Amber Patton reached on an error by the same shortstop, Marissa Myers, on basically the same play in the 5th, and it got the Bandits going. They ended up overall starting to put hits together. Natalie, her first pitch after that error, Hernandez got that RBI single, and that really got the Bandits going to not only get creation off of that error, but immediately take advantage with the base hit. And it's always nice to be able to get that big hit. Kind of got Chicago going, and a couple of plays between Moss and Allard with their speed in that inning as well. One beating out a base hit, Allard on that bouncer. The Bandits tied the game at 3, and now they have a chance here in the bottom of the 6th to keep it going. And Eric Katz is getting more excited by the minute here with this broadcast.
I'm out of my chair.
Oh, I am. I'm standing right now.
0-1 now to Taylor Edwards. Here's the pitch from Owen. Takes that one low, and it evens the count now, 1-1.
When you're winning like the Bandits have been early on in the season, it just starts to get contagious. You kind of get that confident feel. You never think you're out of a ball game, and things just come together in the rhythm that the Bandits are in right now. Whoa.
Edwards drills that one deep, but it's foul. Just over the 2/10 over there.
Wow. That one way out of play.
You can hear the crowd going, ah!
Edwards certainly, she's got a lot of power there.
Yep, has a home run this season. 1-2 now to Edwards. Here's the pitch from Owen. Outside, 2-2.
Nice pickup the Bandits got those Edwards sisters, Tatum and Taylor from Pennsylvania Rebellion.
Yep, for Andy Williamson and Megan Wiggins, who had the brief stop over there. Here's the pitch. And Edwards drills another one foul. She's really getting some good metal on those.
Well, these off speeds certainly are hanging around the zone, so when you look at it right now, it's just getting a little too quick out on those, but certainly wanting to turn on those change-ups. Front.
Takes that one low, and the count is now full.
Racers have to wonder what to do to beat the Bandits here. They've been leading in these innings, and then poof.
That one is shot, and it gets past Myers for at least a single. So Taylor Edwards is on first base with a single, and that will bring up Megan Blank.
You could tell by the way that she hit those foul balls, the way she was taking that ball 3, she was locked in that at bat. Really seeing the ball well against Owen, turned on those 2, got him foul, but then a 2-2 pitch, she just saw that change go down in the zone, took it nicely. And then the payoff pitch, she rocketed past Myers into center field, and to have pitcher number 3 for Akron, the veteran Sarah Pauly is going to come in here to the game for the Racers. Out in relief here, single. Before we tell you about Pauly's numbers, this 6th inning is being brought to you by Deljo Heating and Cooling. Deljo Heating and Cooling is the official heating and air conditioning. It will work with you to stay within your budget without sacrificing quality. Bandits are also being brought to you by the Chicago Center for Orthopedics. When you have knee, hip, or other joint pain, you want the best medical care and you want it to be close to home. That's why Chicago's best orthopedic specialists have come together at the Chicago Center for Orthopedics.
And this is Sarah Pauly, who started the first game and shut down the Bandits for most of the game, but the floodgates really opened up in the 5th inning when the Bandits had that 3-run home run.
Pauly on the year does not have a record in her 11 innings. No, has not been the pitcher of record. This is her 3rd appearance, but the first one out of the bullpen. She's pitched twice on the season. They've both been starts. And now the mentality to come out of the bullpen. Certainly Pauly has done a little bit of everything as long as she's been in the league for the Pride and on the Rebellion and over here on Akron.
That one is fisted, and Booker's going to slide in for the out, but Megan Blank reaches on the fielder's choice, so they get Booker over at second base. And that's going to bring up Amber Patton. So Blank reaches on the fielder's choice, and Amber Patton has reached twice tonight on errors by the same person, Johnny Nerissa Myers.
Been basically the same spot too. We'll see if Patton tries her again. Those 2 bouncers right over to her. Nerissa's in a little bit more, I think, here, but now she backs up. But that first pitch, it does look like she's in a little bit more, but basically around the same spot she's been in, and Patton slapped it to her twice, and she's been unable to make the plays.
Here's the pitch. That one gets away, and Blank's going to take off for second base and gets there with on the pass ball. So a runner is now in scoring position, and a 2-0 count on Amber Patton. This series has been a complete roller coaster ride, Johnny. We had a ride in the first game, and not as thrilling, but still a fun second game. And tonight, another thrill ride.
It has certainly, as we play here in this bottom of the sixth. Go ahead run at second base for Chicago. They trailed 3-0.
That one is outside. It's dropped from the momentarily by Uten, and it's now 3-0 on Amber Patton. Pauly looks in. Here's the pitch. That one is Amber Patton's going to be on first base with a walk. And so now Sammy Marshall, the rookie from Western Illinois, is coming up tonight. Talk about being put on the spot.
We're seeing the Bandits have walked almost 10 batters in this game between the two pitchers, Edwards and Gaskell. You say it's hard to walk that many and still have a chance to win the game. Well, the same thing on the other end for the Racers. It's hard to commit 3 errors and think you can win a game. So the Racers certainly have helped out the Bandits, and Chicago sat a little better at bats here, really seeing the ball after Winter was just breezing through. Just like Winter breezes through the Chicago area, it was breezing through the Chicago hitters here, but then all have gotten it going here. Now we've seen Owen, and now we've seen Pauly.
Marshall tried to bunt on that one, but she wasn't able to get it down, so it's 0-2 now on Sammy Marshall. And pinch hitting for Vicky Galasso tonight is RT Cantu in the on-deck circle. 0-2 now on Marshall. Here's the pitch from Pauly. And Marshall goes down swinging, so that's the first strikeout of the night for Sarah Pauly. And this will now bring up RT Cantillo.
Marshall scored the second run of the Bandits' 5th inning rally on the sacrifice fly as she came in. This time now in her first at bat. As the Bandits here now with RT Cantillo sending in some extra hitters here.
Here's the pitch from Pauly. Cantillo wasn't able to get that one, and it's 0-1. 3-3 is our score with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Congratulations last night over on the other side of Rosemont. The Chicago Sky WNBA team won their game in their home opener. Successful weekend for Chicago women's sports here in the Rosemont area.
That one's fouled off by Cantillo. Shocked the booth isn't shaking yet. 1-2 now on Cantillo, who pinched hit for Vicky Galasso. Pauly looks in. Here's the pitch. And she just froze RT Cantillo, and she's able to get a big strikeout there for the second out. So that is the 3rd out of the bottom of the 6th inning. The Chicago Bandits get 2 runners on base but leave them on, and it's still 3-3. You're watching Chicago Bandits softball on YouTube and ChicagoBandits.com.
Back here as we go into the top half of the 7th inning. Eric, I hope the play-by-play here for me is a lot better than, or as much as it was for you. That was exciting. Foul ball over the stands there and first base line. All the fans are getting up wanting to get the foul ball. Now they all look where it is. Foul balls are a very popular
It was a festive activity.
thing. All right, these kids are going all the way to the top fence to try to see where it went.
This is Jessica Garcia.
Garcia stands in low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Garcia. The Racers send Garcia up to the plate, followed by Uten and Schlopey, the 5, 6, 7 hitters here for the Racers. That's the base hit up the middle.
Great hit by Jessica Garcia, getting that one up the middle open. There was no way Tammy Williams would make that play, and so now she's on first base. We just got confirmation that the USSSA Pride have beaten the Dallas Charge on the believe it or not, the Pride's first game of the season, 10-2.
They had to play at some point, and they did today. And now we have a pinch runner. I believe Shelly Robinson is pinch running, excuse me, for the Racers. So Shelly Robinson into pinch run. And does not have a stolen base attempt yet, but get a little new base runner out there in a late inning game, top of the 7th, 3-3. This game has gotten extremely exciting. The Racers leading 3-0 and the Bandits scoring 3 runs in the 5th. As Haley Uten takes the strike, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Shelly Robinson came in relief of the injured Jen Gilbert last game.
One ball and 1 strike here on Uten as the Racers trying to rally back and retake the lead. Uten goes around, the count's 1-2 with Schlopey on deck. In the hole is Montalvo, who has all 3 RBIs. Racers tonight, a couple singles, 3 RBIs and a walk. She's in the hole. Uten here at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes from Gas. Pitch. That's a bouncer to her. She'll go to second for 1, on to first. 1-6-3 on the double play. Gascoigne had time to go to Williams. They fire to first, and the Bandits turn 2.
Great double play by Michelle Gascoigne. It was a hard hit ball by Haley Uten, and she was able to turn around, get the throw to Tammy Williams, and we all know that there's no better shortstop than Tammy Williams, and she was able to get it for 2 outs.
Big double play there, a little roller to Gascoigne that time, and Michelle made a perfect pitch, and now Janet's in there for a strike again, and she threw to second. Good job by Gascoigne to throw a strike to start the DP. If you don't throw a strike from the pitcher like that, if it's off the mark, sometimes you got to gather if you're a shortstop, but that's a perfect throw to Tammy, who caught it and fired over.
Indeed. Talk about a great debut for Shelby Pendley, who went with 3 RBI.
I don't think it's pretty easy for her, huh? Foul ball, Bass, the third base seat, sent out of play.
To show the veterans that, hey, you don't scare me.
The Pride adding her. That was a big response. They were up 3-0, then it was 3-2, and they won 10-2. 1-2 pitch, bouncer foul down the line. So the Pride now 1-0, the Charge are 2-2.
Kat Osterman picks up the win for them. And this is what apparently her final season. Said that last year, but then had the best pitching record of her career.
She certainly could still get it done. 1-2 pitch, high 2-2, and we talked about Sarah Pauly for the Racers, 11 years in the league. And she keeps rolling through as well.
Second all-time in the NCAA in strikeouts. Number 1's Monica Abbott.
She's good. 2-2 pitch. Pop, short, and over Tammy's head. And in front of Brenna Moss and Allard. And that falls in for a 2-out single. Just in the perfect spot on the little looping base hit there by Schlope.
Perfectly played Schlope. And now this will bring up Kelly Montavolo, who has all the RBIs tonight for the Akron Racers. Williams was a little slow to get up there.
Yeah, really a tough play for her to try to get back. Rocking the ball today. There's a strike and a foul ball. 0 for 10 to start the year.
And she's a little angry at that, which we can see why tonight.
Number 10 was 0 for her first 10 and has ended that pretty quickly, and also drew a walk in between her 2 base hits. 0-1 from Gascoigne. There goes Schlope, the throw to second, they got her! Second time the Bandits have thrown out a runner on base, trying to steal. As Schlope's retired on the caught stealing, and the Bandits end the inning there, and they have a chance to win it down the bottom of the 7th. Bandits 3, Racers 3. You are watching Chicago Bandits NPF softball. And ChicagoBandits.com. Back here as we go to the bottom of the 7th, and you can email us on the stream at streaming@ChicagoBandits.com. You can email us at streaming@ChicagoBandits.com as the first pitch from Pauly in the 7th is bunted by number 7, Danielle Zimkowitz, and foul. It'll be Zimkowitz, Moss, and Allard due up here to 9-1-2 hitters for the Bandits in the 7th inning. A chance here for Chicago to win the game. They had a walk-off on opening night at home. They're 5-0 on the air. Pauly coming in here. A ball hit past Montalvo, foul past third, and it's 0-2. Bandits looking, Eric, for their second straight sweep. Sorry, go ahead.
Danielle Zimkowitz playing tricks with the infield. First she was going to bunt, then she decides to hit it. So now the infield of the Akron Racers has no idea what she's going to do.
Pesky hitters. Bandits have a lot of players that can be prototypical leadoff hitters in the lineup. Zimkowitz is led off. Obviously, Allard's led off. It's Moss leading up. That pitch is high, 1-2. Bandits rallied back against Sarah Pauly on Thursday. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's low and outside, 2-2. Laura Winter started the game for the Racers as Pauly wants to talk to Hooten. It was Winter who pitched into the 5th. Allison Owen took over. Bandits rallied back against both of those, including an infield single to tie the game. Allard, there was a sacrifice fly to left field as well. Started with the RBI single by Natalie Hernandez. The Bandits scored 3 to tie the game. The Racer runs 1 run in the 2nd, 2 in the 5th. There's a swing and a miss. Pauly, a good change there, gets Zimkowitz to swing and miss out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th.
Great strikeout by Sarah Pauly. That gives her even more confidence and more momentum. Danielle Zimkowitz wasn't happy with that one, Johnny.
And she tried to kind of slap that, but it went down in the zone away from her and went right through it. And now Brenna Moss, you reached down the air there in the fifth as the ball bounced off the glove of the first baseman first baseman Quico. That ball skips away from Hooten. 2-0 on Brenna Moss.
Took the Bandits a little while last night against breakthrough.
Had a knack for the big hits here on this series opening home schedule. 2 balls and a strike on the Bandit left fielder.
I've been trying to come up with the proper nickname. I'm thinking about calling them the Cardiac Kids.
That'll work. I have nothing better, so we'll go with that. 3 balls and a strike.
Or the Comeback Kids. Or that's been kind of used a lot, so I'd probably say Cardiac works.
This is just your third broadcast that has been so exciting, Eric. You're going to make it through the next 20, 19. That ball swing and a foul ball off of Houghton. Houghton looked like it bounced off her hand. I'm losing count of how many. It's hard to count of how many broadcasts. 20 broadcasts, so that's 17. Straight 2, bouncer to third, and Montalvo makes the play for out. Number 2, and here's Allard. Emily Allard in her the Bandits. She them in hitting center field this year. She was in left field throughout last year. Now Moss in that spot. High to Allard, 1-0.
Emily Allard's pretty versatile in the outfield. She has the great speed to pretty much play all the outfield positions.
And a very popular player among fans in the area. Infectious personality, as a lot of these athletes have, but Emily always a smile on her face. Possibly, and you can ask the Bandit teammates of her if they agree, but be the best dancer on the Bandits team. Some may disagree with that on the roster. There's a bouncer over the head of 2 people and into center field for a base hit. Allard had that infield single, chopping it over the head of the circle last time up. Her second hitting that way, Eric. She was 0 for 2, bouncing out to second base twice. So she's adjusted and just said, well, I'll just chop it against the turf twice.
Yep, it was over the head of Ashley Thomas, and everybody knows that Emily Allard is very good with that slap hitting, and now she's on first base with her second hit of the evening.
That bounced over the pitcher Pauly, bounced over the second baseman. Williams fouls, try to have her steal a base.
With 2 outs, it wouldn't be a bad idea, because Emily Allard does have that speed.
See if they want to push the envelope here. That will be a base hit into left field. Allard will get the second that way. 2 on for the Bandits here with 2 outs. And it'll be Taylor Edwards up, and Taylor against Owen in the last at bat. This had a great at bat, reading the pitches. This is a nice hitter to have for the Bandits with 2 outs and 7.
Yep, she had a single the last time she was up.
Facing Pauly for the first time tonight. And it's outside. The way Edwards was standing in that last at bat, like we said, you can just tell that she was on. She worked the count full. She fouled 2 balls to the left field corner, deep and foul. She did that earlier in the game as well, over the party deck tent, but in foul territory. 1-0 pitch. Outside and high, it's 2-0. And now Pauly here trying to go after her aggressively, and she sailed pitches high and away. You have Megan Blank on deck here to rally going here. Both the infielder pairs on the Racers talking here. The battery's talking. The shortstop, Myers and Montalvo talking. And the right side of the infield here talking as well to just make sure who's covering what base. Make sure they understand what's going on throws. This game ended on Thursday with the Bandits reacting to the throw to second. They want to make sure that doesn't happen again.
That was a defensive lapse by Ashley Thomas in that game.
2-0 is a strike, 2-1, and it helps to have the speed. And with Altler's speed, you got to be careful if the ball is hit. You know, that last time they tried to get a double up at second base in Thursday's game and ended up scoring a run from third as they forgot all about the runner. That ball rocket shots at Montalvo, and she makes the catch. Kelly Montalvo on an absolute rocket. With Edwards trying to buy a walk-off, instead hits it into the glove of Kelly, and the inning is over. We go to the 8th, extra innings for the second time in the series. Tied at 3 between the Bandits and the Racers. You are watching Chicago Bandits and NPF Softball on YouTube and ChicagoBandits.com. Back here as we go into the top half of the 8th inning. Extra innings again, Mr. Katz. 3-3 your score. Montalvo just made to end the 7th inning on a line drive rocket. Leads off the 8th inning. She was up when Schlope was thrown out at a steal in the top of the 7th.
That's the second thrown out stolen base stealer by Taylor Edwards this season.
1-0 here to Montalvo. Gascoigne, and that's low and in, and it's 2-0.
We're having a crazy game here tonight, Mr. Sole.
That was Edwards' second time in 3 tries throwing out a base runner. Montalvo lifts it to right, and it's caught by Cantillo, who came in for Hernandez. RT Cantillo now in right field, came in a couple innings ago. Natalie Hernandez started in right, had an RBI single in the game. Cantillo puts the rest of the
RT caught that can of corn beautifully.
The rest of the Bandit defense from the beginning of the game is the same. The defense brought to you by Wilson Sporting Goods. Ashley Thomas up here, 1 ball and no strikes on Thomas.
She was 0 for 2 to out, and she's also lined out, which the line out was to Daniels Influence.
Jill Barrett on deck and a swing and a miss, 1-1. Gascoigne came in for Edwards in the 1-1. That one lifted off and foul off the netting down the third base line. Gascoigne's walked a couple. The Bandits have walked 9 batters in the game. The Racers, though, have made 3 errors. Bandits have not made an error. Their defense and Michelle knows how to pitch in these tight situations.
Cool as a cucumber, Johnny.
Coming in, battling. Won a College World Series title with Oklahoma. Trying to win the NPF title with the Bandits here as well as Michelle. Again, a couple times on the All-NPF team. Gascoigne, 3rd year here in the league. And it's 0-2 now on Jill Barrett.
Barrett has flown out, which was to Brenna Moss. She has grounded out to Tammy Williams. She's also walked, and she also has a single, and was eventually got around to as far as 3rd base, but didn't go anywhere.
If Barrett can reach, it would bring up Gilbert. They're at the top of the order here for the Racers. The 0-2 from Gascoigne. Hit to Williams. Tammy the throw, and she got her for out number 3. Perfect inning from Gascoigne in the 8th. To the bottom of the 8th we go. This is where the Bandits won it on Thursday. Let's see what happens tonight on ChicagoBandits.com and YouTube. Back here as we go to the bottom of the 8th, Megan Blank leads it off for Chicago alongside Eric Katz. I am Johnny Sole. It'll be Blank, Patton, and Cantillo spot due up here in the bottom half of the 8th. As Sarah Pauley back out, and the pitch is outside, 1-0. Pauley, the 3rd pitcher work here for the Racers. Second full inning of work here for her as 2 1/3, and the pitch is a little half of the netting. Strike.
Megan Blank knows she's in a pretty tight situation here. Let's see how the rookie responds.
1-1 pitch here to Blank, and that's a roller to second. Diving play, and trouble getting out of the glove, but still got her at first base. Ashley Thomas. Nice play to get down. That ball had eyes. It was trying to go into right, but she got down, made the play, and almost could not get it out time.
It was a bang-bang play there, but you got to give Ashley Thomas credit for diving on that one.
Now Patton gets it to Thomas again, and out number 2. That one was a little easier.
Yep, didn't have to dive there. Kind of a little scooter off the turf.
I believe that was Sammy Marshall that took that back. And let's see who'll take this at bat. Bandits. Hernandez is re-entering. So Natalie Hernandez re-entering for Chicago. Hernandez started in right field. Cantillo actually is batting after Hernandez, so that defensive positioning, Cantillo did not take Hernandez order, just took her spot on defense, and now Natalie re-enters, so Cantillo will still be on deck. Cantillo batting in the 8th spot, which was the catcher DP spot originally. I can't keep track of all this stuff, Eric. There's so many different shifts and changes, but as long as the coaching staff and the umpires have it, I guess that's the bottom line.
The rules kind of get a little sketchy when it comes to re-entry.
And the DP and the flex, but we got this. Pop up, who's got it? Oh, they fall. Everybody okay? They landed right in the same time. Everybody's all right, and the catch is made as Quico came diving in. Quico might have almost banged into Thomas, but the catch is made. To the 9th we go. 3-3 your score between the Bandits and the Racers and extras. This is Chicago Bandits softball on YouTube and ChicagoBandits.com. To the 9th, as we continue, heart of the order due up for the Racers, Gilbert, Myers, and Quico. Already one NPF game in action. It's a high fly ball, deep right field, and gone. A home run on the first pitch of the 9th inning, Gilbert. And the Racers have taken a 4-3 lead here in the top half of the 9th inning. First pitch, home run into the right field bleachers. And the Racers, who led 3-0 till the 5th when the Bandits scored 3 to tie, have retaken the lead here in the 9th on a home run by Jen Gilbert. For Gilbert, it's her first home run of the year and her 3rd RBI. Now a bunt by Myers, Zimkowitz, and save. They say Zimkowitz did not get to the bag first. Myers beats it out according to the umpire, but not according to the Bandits. And what a start for Akron.
Yep, it's just they're finally putting the pieces together. Pollard with the great pitching, and it appears as though that things are starting to float in their direction.
Bandits who re-entered in the pitch. Tatum Edwards. So Edwards, who started the game 2 hours ago, and now the pitch is missing, and it's 1-0. The way you can re-enter in, it's an interesting spot here for the starter Edwards, who had to watch Gascoigne in relief and comes back out here. Gives up the home run, and the Racers did not waste any time getting after the first pitch. And then Myers, the bunt on the first pitch. They were aggressively ready for Edwards.
Seen some exciting action here tonight.
Outside, and it's 1 ball and no strike, or excuse me, 2 balls and 1 strike. Two is high. That's a strike. 2 and 2.
Thought that was a little high there. I think Tatum Edwards simply got a gift there.
Two strikes, and that gets away from Tatum's sister. And Myers to second base. 3 and 2 now on Quico. The Racers here, you know they want to add on to the runs.
Give that insurance run, and I think 2 runs is all Sarah Polly will need, considering how well she has pitched in this for the Jen Gilbert home run.
And is ball 4. Edwards, who had walked 6 in not even 3 innings of work. And first and second, nobody out. And Garcia now will hit for the Racers. Re-entering back in, shooting, and now will re-enter for the Racers here in the top half of the 9th inning. First and second, nobody out still. The pitch from Edwards is inside, 1-0.
Tatum's just been struggling with her control and also her command. I mean, the command just has not been there tonight.
Pop up and blink. Bangs into the dugout railing as she runs out of room near down the first base line, 1-1.
No way Blank could have got that because it was already heading straight into the dugout, but she had a reach to maybe make an effort there. But still, good effort by Megan Blank, the rookie out of University of Iowa.
That ball is hit into right field. Cantillo makes the catch. Myers will tag up and go to third. So Myers reaches third base on the fly out. It is the first out of the inning. And substitution here is Megan Lowe is going to pinch hit. Lowe is 0 for 2 on the season in her 2 at-bats. And we'll see her hit here for the first time tonight.
She had gotten hurt in the game against the Pennsylvania Rebellion. Bruise on her wrist on a collision play during that game. The rookie out of the University of Texas, San Antonio.
From Spring, Texas.
So a native Texan.
She'll be looking forward to when they play the Dallas Chargers. Head back to her state. Texas is a big state, though. Not sure how close that is to her hometown, but
it's so big it could be its own country.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Tatum should be pitching to contact. She really needs to get this out here, especially with the great defense that she has behind her.
Had the 1 strikeout in the start in the first couple innings, and then she was relieved by Michelle Gascoigne, who pitched all the way in through 8. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's inside, the count goes full. And it's 3 and 2.
Tatum Edwards cannot afford a walk here. With runners on the corner and 1 out.
And that just missed.
Wanted that one as a reaction to the umpire.
She's been around the zone. It's hard to get calls, and that one just a little high.
Coach Stu is questioning that one.
You saw the home plate umpire put his hand up to signify where it went, just missing above the zone. And now that's it. So Verdon will come in, and now you can't re-enter twice, so that'll be the night for Tatum Edwards, who got the start. And 8 walks for her here. Not even 3 full innings of action between the beginning of the game and here. And now Kirsten Verdon will pitch, and Verdon has gotten a lot of action so far. She's made 2 starts. Now she'll come in out of the bullpen, the second-year pitcher out of DePaul University locally. Verdon from Coal City, Illinois. And the Bandits have to try to get going here. And if you're the Bandits, Eric, the way you've been rallying back, obviously the goal here is to just keep it at 1. You've given up the home, but you know you've been able to score runs in reach.
It'll be a little more difficult, especially facing the veteran Sarah Polly, who's probably been in this situation numerous times in her NBF career.
You thought the Bandits might have won the game in the bottom of the 7th. That line drive rocket that was caught by Kelly Montalvo, and a rocket to third base with Allard at second. But it was just allowed out as the catcher Taylor Edwards rocketed it to the on-deck hitter, and she made the catch. And here in the 9th, the go-ahead home run. And that's a swing and a foul back to the netting. And the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
This is going to be a huge out here. She's looking to attack. That's what Kirsten Verdon should be doing.
1 and 2 up here. They're trying to wiggle their way out of this with just 1 run allowed and send their offense back out. The 1-2 from Verdon. Outside, 2 and 2. Kirsten won the Big East softball championship with DePaul Field last year. Or not drafted, excuse me, but out of the tryout soon after that. Bounce the right bat to her, off her glove, it'll score a run. Zemkowitz tripped. That was a weird play. Zemkowitz tripped over somebody. I think they might have called an obstruction. The run's in. Zemkowitz fell as she went past. That was weird. Zemkowitz, as she was trying to get to the ball, I think tripped over the runner going to second.
Remember Patton and Tammy Williams out there. I'm definitely not happy with that call.
Now the question is, the run was obviously going to come home and score. The ball bounced off of Verdon, and then as Zemkowitz went to get the ball, I think she might have tripped on the base runner's foot. And I don't think anybody knows what's going on. Meanwhile, it's 5-3. Either way, as I think all was ended up being clear on damage done there as just a play. Well, now Uten's going to take second base as she re-enters. And it's 5-3. The Racers still with only one out after all that. They ruled that a hit, not an error as we speak on Burden. Hard hit ball back to the circle, so that turns into an RBI for Schlopie. Makes the score 5-3. And still only one out, and the base is still loaded, and Montalvo shrugs away from that one, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. So the Bandits, after Gascoigne pitched as long as she could into the 9th inning in her first appearance of the season. There's a base hit by Montalvo. They will hold Uten. And that is now 4 RBIs in the game for Kelly Montalvo. 4 ribbies in the ball game. 3 singles for Montalvo. What a night for her. And Ashley Thomas stands in. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
We'll look to bat around here.
While the netting 1-1. The leadoff home run this inning got it all started off the bat of the right fielder, Jen Gilbert. Bunt single by Narissa Myers. Ball off the glove of Herden on Schlopie's. And now another RBI for Montalvo. And the Racers have regained the 3-run lead. And this ball is popped up on the infield. Amber Patton will make the catch. Field fly was in effect, and it's out number 2. As it'll now bring up the second baseman, Ashley Thomas. So no more runs in on that. The pop-up did not score a run from third with less than 2 outs. Now Jill Barrett will come up here for the Racers as the Bandits look to finally get out of the inning, and there's the strike. You credit the Racers for jumping on Edwards in her appearance back out in the circle. They jumped out on the first pitch, and now Barrett in a center field, a base hit. Uten scores. Here comes the throw, not in time as Schlopie scores. It's 8-3, a 2-run single. Jill Barrett. And the Racers have indeed batted around as Gilbert, who started the inning with the home run, is up again.
Looks like I've run out of room on my scorecard with the amount of craziness that have gone on in this game.
That's a check swing. It's a foul ball. Excuse me, swing there by Gilbert, who started the inning with the home run. And then Myers, who's on deck, had a 2 pitches just like that. It was already a 4-3 game. Then the bunt single kind of continued to set the tone. That was swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Gilbert, that was the run of the season. Into the right field bleachers, allowing the Racers to take the lead 4-3, and they have finally began to add on here against Chicago. That's one thing you talked about earlier in the game, that the Racers have had opportunities to really extend leads, especially here in this game. So many chances with runners on base, and they were just unable to make to get the key hits. But this inning, they have not just rested on the homer, they've continued. Swing and a miss, the inning is over, but the Racers score 5 runs in the 9th. And after 8.5 here, the Bandits need 5 to tie and 6 to win. You're watching Chicago Bandits softball on YouTube and ChicagoBandits.com. Back here as we go into the bottom of the ninth, that RT Cantillo stands in. The Bandits here allowed 5 runs in the top of the ninth. Sarah Pauly, the pitcher of record here, the third pitcher for the Racers, trying to get the win. Cantillo, Zimkowitz, Moss do up for Chicago. 8-9 one-hitters here in the of extra innings, or second frame of extra innings. It's 2 balls and a strike on RT Cantillo, looking for first hit of the game. It's 3-1.
In order for the Bandits to come back, they're going to have to find a lot of magic in their bats in order to make an improbable comeback, especially when you're going up against an ace-like pitcher like Sarah Pauly.
Well, they need base runners. It's 3-1 on Cantillo, and she went around. That might have been ball 4. Little aggressive there.
Huge at bat right here for RT. Just looking to get on base.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Coming up after the game, we'll have the Diamond Sports play of the game. And the home run by Jen Gilbert gave the Racers the lead in the 8th and 9th. They added 4 more runs to go up by a score of 8-3. And there's ball 4, leadoff walk to Cantillo. So that's a start. The Fighting Illini product Daniel Zimkowitz will now stand in. Here with no outs, runner on first, and popped up left of us. And it dominoes off seats. Oh, and 1 on Zimkowitz. That's a foul ball. Took me some time to figure out. It was quick, just down the line, 0-2.
Game of inches, Johnny.
Racers finally with some big-time clutch hits here in this game. They have 12 hits now. You go back to those walks at the beginning of the game. Bandits have walked double-digit batters in this game. And when you look at this game went. The Racers could not take advantage of big opportunities. They led it 3-0 though, but the Bandits came back, and now a base hit by Zamkowitz. First and second, nobody out. The Racers led 1-0 after 2 innings. They stranded the bases loaded, 1 out in the third. They had the bases loaded still in that inning. They scored but could not get the run in after that, even though Montalvo got the 1 run. But as we've gone on here, that 9th, and here come the Bandits again. So those extra Racer runs were huge. Moss to the net and foul off the net in front of Uten.
Got lucky there. Haley Uten was in perfect position to make that. The ball just glanced a little bit of the net to keep Brennan Moss alive. Should go say thank you.
Thank you, Matt. No balls, strike. And that ball is hit into right. Catch is made for out number 1. Catch made out there by Gilbert, who is the hero, one of them, with the run. Kelly Montalvo, another hero for the race. 3 hits, 4 RBIs for 4 RBIs. Montalvo, and that is hit foul and slapped into left field. Some people still here on this chilly night. I think it's warmer than last night, but this doesn't feel like June. There's been some cold evenings here. We got the window open, which is it's a nice. It's supposed to be warmer in June, I thought, Eric.
You never know.
No balls and a strike. High to Allard, 1-1. Well, the Racers off the Bandits. Chicago 5-0 on the year. Racers at 1-3 in Akron. Trying to get back to 2-3. The Racers, they were around, under 500 throughout the course of last year. And then in the tail end of the season, they really picked it up. Bouncer again, that's a base hit. Over third, Cantillo will score. It's 8-4 on the RBI single by Emily Allard. Allard's 3rd hit of the game. She's now 3 for 5. It's her 3rd straight hit. Allard, who came in hitting 4 out of 17 to start the season, but has gotten it going here in the last few at-bats. Now a roller to Montalvo. 3rd, diving with the glove, and gets the out.
Good play by Montalvo, getting the lead runner at 3rd base. Tammy Williams reaches on a fielder's choice. And now this makes the Bandits down to their last strike, with Taylor Edward coming to bat.
Montalvo knows what she's doing. Certainly in that play, when you're up by 4, you just want to get the out. Could have base, but decided to go to 3rd, and I'm not going to doubt what Montalvo does. She made an interesting diving with her glove on the 3rd base bag with momentum going toward 1st, but decided to turn around. Usually she makes the right decision, and she ended up working. Now it goes to her again. That was an easier force, and the game is over. Chicago Bandits fall for the first time this season by a score of 8-4. The Racers put up a 5 spot in the top half of the 9th inning. The home run by Jen Gilbert got the inning started, Eric. 4 more runs after that. They added on. Important they added on because the Bandits do score a run there in the 9th. Chicago on going the way they're playing, but the Racers were add, get some key hits, and they end up winning the ball game 8-4.
Gotta give the Bandits credit there for not giving in the beginning and getting that 3-run rally going. They were able to scratch across a run here, but unfortunately, the hits just didn't go in their direction, and there was just too many walks. That's what ultimately killed the Bandits, the amount of free passes they gave us.
We'll take a break and come back with the post game on ChicagoBandits.com and YouTube.
We also should announce.
Back here as we go into the bottom or the post-game show here at the ballpark at Rosemont, and by Jen Gilbert in the top half of the ninth inning. The go-ahead home run by Gilbert is our Diamond Sports play of the game. The go-ahead homer in the ninth inning in that 5-run rally. Eric Gilbert took the first pitch from Edwards, who started the game, then re-entered. In between that, Michelle Gascoigne was excellent. Gascoigne did a great job in her first appearance. She pitched into the ninth inning. I just kind of ran out of gas there, and it's her first appearance, so you don't know exactly how long to keep her going. They re-entered Edwards back in. Edwards, who had the problems with the whole time, but here as well, it was the Racers. You knew that she wanted to throw a strike because she was struggling with the walks. They took that strike, and the Diamond Sports play of the game turned into the go-ahead home run, and they added on and won by 4.
I mean, she also struggled with it's a lot of things, but it was mostly had to do with control and also command. I mean, she didn't have very good command of her pitches tonight, and unfortunately it cost her, especially with the amount of free passes she gave, which ultimately cost the Bandits the game, the amount of free passes they gave up. They weren't getting hit very hard, as you can tell, until really the very end. But if they would have kept the free passes down, because sometimes walks are going to happen, but you can't give up too many walks. If they would have kept them down, they probably would have had a better shot at coming back. Even though they did, it probably would have been a little bit easier for them.
And 10 walks in the ball game as the Bandits fall by the score of 8-4. Credit Chicago. They were down 3-0. They came back to tie the game in the 5th with 3 runs. You knew they were going to rally back just the way they play and perform. But as it turned out, the ball game came to a close with the Racers rallying back, and that was the key win for Akron. You go down, you're up 3-0, you give up the lead. You already gave up the lead in the first game. This was one certainly that they needed. They got themselves to 2-3 on the year.
I think what the Bandits need to do is they need to stop putting themselves in a hole. I mean, yes, they can rally, yes, they have speed, but it's better to put yourself in front, or at least keep yourself even with the opponent instead of putting yourself in a hole.
Bandits now 5-1. They'll have one day off tomorrow where they'll travel to Pennsylvania, Eric, and then they get the Rebellion again for 3 games. Then they're in Akron in between the Texas game, which is on a week from Monday in Windy City, Thunderbolts in Crestwood. NPF-wise, though, their next 6 games are on the road. So the Bandits, who have a lot of home games later in the year, but certainly this road stretch against the Rebellion and the Racers is going to be an interesting one.
It will be. They're going to really get tested on what it's like to play in another team's ballpark, not the friendly confines of the ballpark in Rosemont. We're going to see how they respond to losing this first game. Yes, they started 5-0 and had a great run, but let's see if they can bounce back from tonight's loss.
Well, it worked out on the road the first time. They swept the Rebellion in Pennsylvania. They'll try to get them after it again on a Monday as they take on the Rebellion again at Sole Energy Park. Eric, another pleasure working with you. I know we did it at some of the high school games. Mike Knezovich will be back for the Dallas Charge on Father's Day is the next Bandit home game on Sunday, June the 21st, as the Bandits will take on Dallas. But Eric, pleasure working with you and Caroline and Bilal and the rest of the streaming crew here tonight.
Yep, it's certainly always a pleasure working with them.
Once again, the final score, the Racers 8 and the Bandits 4. Akron is now 2-3. Sarah Pauly gets credit for the win. She's 1-0 on the year. The loss goes to Tatum Edwards, who drops her game for the first time in a Bandit uniform. She's now 2-1 on the year. Bandits 5-1 on the season. The Racers 2-3. For Eric Katz, our great streaming crew, and all you fans out there tuning in across the nation and across the world, we appreciate you tuning in to us as well. Again, our next Bandits broadcast at the Ballpark at Rosemont will be Sunday, June 21st, as we celebrate Father's Day at the Ballpark. The 3:05 first pitch against the Dallas Charge. Have a great rest of your weekend. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Final score, Akron Racers 8, Chicago Bandits 4. I'm Johnny Sole saying have a wonderful night. You've been watching Chicago Bandits and NPF Softball right here at Bandits.com and YouTube.